All told, let's not make one mistake ruin our finances. Although some money mistakes have serious repercussions that may affect our finances for years, good thing is not every financial mistake is a big deal. Hi, this is Jung Fernando and I'm from Rampver Financials. First of all, we'd like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to visit us here in the Amplify Virtual Realty booth. We hope that you are so far enjoying your experience in this special Alveo event. Hope you can allow me to give you a brief background about our company. Rampver Financials is one of the most respected and the largest full-service financial services provider in the country. We offer investments through mutual funds, direct stock trading platforms, life, non-life, health insurance, personal finance consultancies, trainings, and a whole lot more. We have licensed financial advisors who guide people towards the right financial instruments that can match their goals and objectives. Our company's vision is to help people fulfill financial dreams. And so for today, you are in for another treat as we will be sharing with you another topic that we all must be aware of, and that is the 5 worst money decisions that can hurt you for years. Personally, in my spare time, I like to browse through some personal finance articles and check out money vlogs and blogs. And while it's entertaining to read and watch about all of these things, I've also found it very informative. When you check out enough real experiences, you start to see what works and what doesn't. You'll notice what the most successful people do to save money and pick up on some common mistakes that lead to long-term financial struggles. And so for today, this is what we want to share with you. A summary on the top 5 worst money mistakes or decisions that one must learn from and avoid. Of course, first on the list would be not prioritizing debt payments. In Tagalog, pagsasawalang bahala sa mga utang. Like when you are carrying balances on your credit cards, while having a balance on a credit card doesn't seem like a big deal at first, it can quickly spiral out of control. The problem is, before you know it, you already owe 10,000 pesos on your MasterCard, 6,000 pesos on your Visa, 8,000 pesos on your BPI Express card, and so on and so forth. Always remember that the smartest way to use credit cards is to be a transactor and not a revolver. Use cards wisely for the security and rewards they offer, but never as a fake extension of your income. Sadly, living on borrowed money like using credit cards to buy essentials has become somewhat the norm. For many, credit cards have been their go-to solution for buying things when they do not have the funds yet. Credit card interest rates make the price of the charged items more expensive. In some cases, using credit card gives you a wrong sense of dependence and security because in reality, you'll spend more than what you actually earn. Think, if you don't make payments on a debt and it goes to collections, you can kiss your credit goodbye. Your credit score, which is the basis for most financial institutions, can drop by several points. And it takes how many years for collections accounts to drop off your credit file? This will surely be damaging for your future personal credit lines. Naku po. And even if you say your credit score will gradually improve during that time, if you do everything right, Even so, you'll feel the effects of that collections account for years. For example, if you want to buy a condo or a house or get any sort of loan, you can expect to pay significantly higher interest payments na. Worse is, you might even have application denied dahil apektado nga po ang track record ninyo. The second worst money mistake that you should avoid is not getting insurance coverages. People often put insurance on the back burner, thinking they won't need it right away naman, having all of the possible excuses not to buy one. For example, I am still young, I don't have time to work on the application, saka na lang, di ko pa priority yan. I don't have the money for it, and so on and so forth. But the whole point of insurance is to protect yourself from the unexpected. There's no way for us to know when we will need it because accidents really happen and it's inevitable. As we always say, don't buy insurance for what it is, but for what it does and what it can do for you and your loved ones. The last thing you want is having to think about where to get the money to pay for possible high medical bills because you put off getting health insurance when you still can. And being the victim of an accident, house fire, or even death. If there's any type of insurance policy you need, make it a priority and set it up. You should have it as a part of your monthly budget. Remember, we don't buy insurance, instead, we apply for it. And so while you are still capable of paying for it, and while you are still insurable, make sure to invest on these things as well. Another major money mistake that can hurt you for years is always giving into instant gratification. This is when we finance purchases instead of saving up for them. With the number of zero interest deals around us, it's so tempting, di po ba, to finance big purchases whenever we want something, even if it's out of our budget. This can work out well, however, if you pay off your balance within the zero interest period. Always remember, having a big financial obligation can end up with large monthly payments taking up a huge chunk of your regular income. Another bad habit that has to be broken is when you buy more than what we can afford, like buying an expensive car. Remember, there's nothing wrong with buying a car even if you need to finance it. But remember, your car shouldn't cost more than 10% of your gross monthly income. People always think they should splurge on an expensive car just because they can afford the payment terms at this time. There are actually only a few people who can really pay for a branded car in cash. This means, in reality, most people cannot afford to buy a car. Period. After all, being able to afford the payment is not the same as being able to afford the car. Remember, by borrowing money to buy a car, you pay interest on a depreciating asset which amplifies the difference between the value of the car and the price you paid for it. Worse yet, many people trade in their cars every 2 or 3 years and lose money on every trade. Sometimes, a person has no choice but to take out a loan to buy a car. But how many of us really need a large SUV just because ang ganda ng nakita natin sa kapitbahay? Such vehicles are expensive to buy, to insure, to fuel, to maintain. Unless you will use this for work, business, or to earn a living, it can be disadvantageous to purchase one that is way beyond your financial capacity. Cars are very expensive, and if you're buying more of a car than you need, you might be burning money that you could have been saving, used to pay off your other debts, or even consider buying something else that is more valuable. Which leads us to the next point, which is not investing for your own house, or the extreme flip side, which is spending too much on a house that you can't afford. The peace of mind of having your own place to stay in is priceless. Owning a house is more than just height. It's the gateway to long-term and short-term financial success. Long-term, you build an equity nest egg, and short-term, you'll be able to enjoy not only your dream sanctuary, but potential tax deductions and pay yourself by saving on unnecessary lease or a potential income should you decide to have this rented out eventually. There are really a lot of great benefits of investing in real estate, which include passive income, cash flow, tax advantages, investment diversification, and leverage. Most of the time, when someone buys a house, they plan to live there for a long time. That makes it so tempting to force to buy a really nice place even if the mortgage payment is way beyond your means. We have to remember that it won't also be too much fun living in that nice home if it means you'll be struggling naman to pay your bills every month. In finance, we always say that as a rule of thumb, you should avoid getting a house loan that will cost you more than 25% of your gross monthly income. This limit will ensure that you would be able to maintain a healthy cash flow. So when it comes to buying a house, bigger is also not necessarily better. Unless you have a large family or plan to have one in the future or use it as an investment. Remember, if you don't need it, choosing a large home will only mean more expensive taxes, maintenance, and utilities. Do you really want to put such a significant long-term dent in your monthly budget? Be practical, yet you also have to be very strategic. In today's modern day and age, it always pays to talk to a trusted property specialist or your financial advisor to ensure that you would know your complete options, may it be a condo unit or a house and lot, or get the right deals from a reputable real estate developer, and be aware of other many important considerations that will help you make the right decision for this big but very important part of your investment portfolio. And the fourth worst financial mistake to watch out for is falling to get rich quick schemes and scams. Many people do not have the discipline and patience to wait to let their money grow. Remember that saving or investing is a long-term process and not a sprint. There are no shortcuts to financial success unless manalo tayo sa loto. But what are the chances? There is no such thing as earning big overnight. This is the same reason why many of us fall into all of these get-rich-quick schemes, which more often than not are scams. Before you make any decisions related to money, do some research and fully understand what you're getting yourself into. Again, we advise you to talk to professionals like licensed advisors or consultants because these people can save you from the long-term negative impacts of losing your money to all of these scams. And lastly, number 5 is not saving early. If you do not get your money working for you in the markets or through other income-producing investments, you may never be able to stop working. As soon as you start earning, and yes, even if you are still young or just in your first job, you have to build that habit and discipline of saving regularly. In investing, there is what you call the cost of delay. Starting early will make your money grow at a faster pace through the power of compounding. Remember, making regular contributions to investment accounts is essential for a comfortable retirement. And in connection to retiring, you must also be very cautious about withdrawing your retirement funds early. Some people see their retirement accounts as money they can tap into when they want some extra cash or want to give into luxuries that they cannot technically afford just yet. This is certainly a bad way to look at it. Don't forget that depending on the type of retirement account you have, you may need to pay some pre-termination penalties and income taxes on the amount you will withdraw. And remember, one of the main benefits of retirement accounts is they allow your money to compound and grow much larger. So, when you withdraw money, you're taking a step backwards. Sayang naman po. All told, let's not make one mistake ruin our finances. Although some money mistakes have serious repercussions that may affect our finances for years, good thing is not every financial mistake is a big deal. What's important is for us to be aware of what these mistakes are and we learn from them and do our very best to avoid them. And so I hope you have learned something from this short webinar. If you think you have friends or relatives who might be of need of these contents, we invite you to please subscribe to our official YouTube channel, Rampver Financials, and see how we help people fulfill financial dreams. Again, this has been Jung Fernando saying thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and may God bless you all.